gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of justice, are the most powerful forces of good ever assembled. Dedicated to truth, justice, and peace for all mankind.
Ladies and gentlemen, once in a lifetime there's a show that's so important, that's so entertaining, that all you can do is say, God damn, it's good. Today,
and it's not this one.
Today, that show is Krypton. It was slept on.
What do you say? Krypton?
Krypton.
Yeah.
My wife also
After you watch this, you're going to feel
It's
crap.
one of the better shows now. And I want to just say, hello everybody, it's Spinner Rack here, and I'm here with Kyle and Petey. And we're going to be talking about one of that hit show of Syfy. Had millions of viewers. It is Krypton. Gentlemen, let's talk about this show. This is basically it goes back 200 years in the past to talk about the grandfather of Superman, Seg-El, and how he has to overcome Brainiac to prevent Superman from coming. Premise is fantastic. The look of the show is fantastic. The acting is fantastic. They got British actors, goddamn, playing Kryptonians.
Okay, you're wrong already.
Okay.
Seg-El isn't Superman's grandfather, if I understand the comics correctly.
Yeah, it is.
This is Jor-El's grandfather.
Okay, probably Jor-El, Superman. No, I think he said his grandfather. Didn't Adam say straight?
No, well, then they need to keep it straight because they've said two different things when it comes to this show.
No, I'm not going to quibble with them. Suspension of disbelief. That's all I'm going to say.
That's a lot of suspension of disbelief in this one.
Okay, you know what?
Well,
we don't need to start with you. Then.
Just change the Y to an A and you've got exactly what you want. If you're that type of person, you're scatological, this is your show. Okay, just get a glass box for yourself, lay down, and let it roll all over you, and you'll be fine at the end of the day. No self-respecting Superman fan can watch this show and come and tell me anything about, hey, this, that, and the other. See, now, he is correct. The production values for a sci-fi show are very, very high. And this show is their highest rated show. This is the highest rated sci-fi show in 5 years. So we already know what they're going to do.
Bye-bye, Expanse.
This is the money.
Hey,
You
I
buy
like Expanse. Don't say
Expanse.
that.
Okay, this is the money. All of those other shows, anybody who was right there on the line,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. We're going to take the money for Krypton.
See you
Krypton, as
later.
I would say. The money's going to go there through the advertisements and such. This is what? Paris Collins called this show out before I even saw it. This show is for women and children. It's not for a
I'm
Superman
not a woman
fan.
or child.
Exactly. So, I don't know how it is you're vibing with any of this. You're like the other, okay? You need your own bathroom. You know, something that's non-denominational, no gender, not even humanity at the end of the day.
All right.
See, here's the deal with the show. If you know, see, look, most Superman fans don't read the comics anyway. They know Superman from the movies, they know him from cartoons, and they love like kitsch. They like a toothbrush and a cup and a towel or what have you. But they still want to see Superman at the end of the day. You get these kids come in, and literally, this little kid, I was watching the show, a little kid comes by, sees the S on the cape, he's like, oh, is that Superman? And I was like, wow, these guys are geniuses. Because the kids come on and they're like, they don't know any better. They're like, oh, this is the story of Superman because you threw an S in there. Then you have all of the, the soap opera qualities, the pretty people, the pretty guys, pretty girls, the love interest, typical what? Typical girl show. Okay, typical CW, Vampire Diaries nonsense. Literally, okay? We got people
Vampire
falling.
Diaries, we don't know if it's
I haven't
nonsense.
watched
But
that
let's
stuff, so I can't
continue.
It's nonsense.
in the world.
You cannot fall in love with the vampire. They're trying to eat you.
This
Okay,
thing-
They're trying to eat you.
all right.
You know what? Petey, can you bring some reason into this?
But you asked him, and then he gave you. Were you upset with what he gave you?
I'm sorry. I'm not done.
No,
so-
you can't.
So you
think
watch
of
the
whole-
you watch the
this-
show. This has nothing to do with Superman.
No,
What's
this
worse,
is too
it
much.
has nothing to do with Krypton. This could just be someplace else on Earth. And it could be just, hey, think about it in Earth in the future where the technology is a little bit better and we can actually have flying stuff going around. There's nothing Kryptonian about this. The fighting doesn't show anything otherworldly. The situations are not otherworldly. This is an Earth-centered thing. They were not thinking out of the box on this. They were not thinking about, oh, let's try different accents so maybe we can show a different culture. They throw a bunch of people in capes. Okay, and they're like, okay, that should be enough for the viewership. And to a large extent, it's going to be enough for the viewership. So, again,
Millions of people are going to
change the
watch
Y. Change the Y into
All
an
right,
A,
we already done
and
it.
you got
That's
your
it,
show.
that's it. All right, so ultimately, this show starts off with Seg-El, right?
Yes,
And it
Seg-El.
starts. No, it
Siegel.
Seg-El.
As in Jerry
Yeah,
Siegel.
there you
But
go.
they say
Very good.
Seg-El.
See, you already got all
yeah.
of this. The other thing. That's the other part of this show is that they've over-branded it. Where you got a part of Seg-El or Jerry Siegel. You have the capes. You have the S's. You have the Fortress of Solitude has been somehow in there.
There's a lot of
They've
Easter eggs
thrown. There's not even Easter eggs. It's just like here's a sign back here saying Metropolis or something like that. So it's. But the one thing that is funny because I was watching with my wife and she had she was like saying, "Is this like Game of Thrones?" Because they had the accents and it's like, oh, this is another angle that they're pulling because everybody has the British accents in this story. And also, what else was I thinking about here? When you look at that, what was it? When they had the action scene where his mother is like flying around in the flying hair dryer thing, the hair roller, the spaceship thing, like she's flying. Like, come on, get in there, Seg. And it's like the way they pass was so. I didn't really feel it, but it was going into the revenge thing. Where the second episode is mostly I had to get revenge on my parents, and it's like. All right, no, you have Adam Strange saying, no, you can't do it because you have a future and this, that, and another. Screw them. I don't believe you. I got to kill this guy. And then there's a big mystery that we know that's not a mystery, which is Great Rao it's got to be Brainiac.
We don't know that.
It's got to be. Who else could it be? But also, I like the.
None of this matters at the end of the day.
Wait a second.
Wait a
second.
But the thing is that Superman has to get off the planet, and this is where he sets it up.
No.
Look, I think you guys are being a little too close-minded.
This
grandfather
I think you are on thin ice if you are going to go with that argument.
Loop is the problem with the show. I'm okay if they do the show, and I don't like the capes. I don't like the over-branding. But if they didn't have this loop of saying, here's this time loop that we had to fix, saying that either Brainiac created this loop, it turns it into the Terminator or whichever time story you want to remember that you like, and say, this is too close to that. And I don't think film or TV works with the loops, and that's what we talked about before. So then seeing the second episode, and then the cape dripping or whatever it's doing,
evaporating.
that is not working for me.
Evaporation doesn't drip. It just leaves at the end of the day. It's not evaporated milk. It just.
That's the hard parts for me. But otherwise, for the
why is Adam Strange sent back in time to take care of this? Who's the best person to send back in time to take care of Brainiac? Who's the best person?
Who?
Superman.
No, we can't turn that Superman.
No, that's the whole premise of this show. At the end of the day,
Booster Gold would be an
this
okay
is supposed
one
to be
do that.
Booster Gold for me again is inept because he's going to end up doing something dumb with Blue Beetle,
but it would work
and that'll be the end of it.
No, not in the
This story right now, do you know how many times they did this story?
One?
This is a Silver Age story. No. This is a Bronze Age story where something goes on. It's wrong in time. We got to fix this up. And who's the guy that used to always send to take care of this? No. Superman, and he would take care of it.
That doesn't. There'd be one episode.
Look,
of course he's not, because it's not about Superman.
It is about Superman.
I thought the idea, the fact
Adam
that
Strange get sent back by Superman?
He did.
Yeah. So Superman is working with Adam Strange.
Yeah. Okay.
Look.
Yeah. All right.
What
Yeah.
I'm trying to say is this show where you had the problems. People had problems with the Man of Steel, right?
No, this has the same stuff from Man of
I
Steel.
think it's a little bit
It's the same guy who did it, David Goyer.
Yeah.
How much different could it be?
Do you see any flying dragons?
Not
Give
yet.
him time. We only got one episode
this
in, right?
This is on Kandor. This is a different where they have everything. This is the side of where they have a dome. They're struggling in this area.
Right.
So we don't know what's going on the other side of the planet.
Well, they're saying they're all independent, like cities fighting each other. Each city has its own fractions within itself. And here you have not only the.
And they stole that whole dome. They stole the dome stuff from the original Superman movie. They stole the accents as well from the original Superman movie. And when Dick Donner did the movie, the whole idea of the British accents on Krypton was supposed to symbolize going from the old country to the new country, the whole immigrant story. So the old world would have been, England or what have you, with the old accents. Then we get to America, that whole thing is done. It doesn't really hold up when you do this particular series, other than the fact that we want to connect to what's topical. What's trendy right now with the whole. No, Adam Strange. We want to get the Game of Thrones people in here. Hey, this got some British people talking. Yeah. Maybe we'll see some stuff like that.
You said in the featurette that the whole purpose of the British is to show that this is other. This is another country. This is another place.
With a British accent that makes it other?
Yeah. While the Americans,
how many Star Trek shows have we seen? And they did more work with the Star Trek shows.
They said in the featurette, and they said Adam Strange.
Listen to Worf. Did he talk like a Brit?
Adam Strange is the person we connect because we as Americans see him through those eyes.
How the hell is he on this planet and nobody stops him and say, hey, you talk funny and you dress funny. We're going to arrest you and find out what the hell is going on with
hiding
you.
in the cells. Look, I'm not
He's hiding in what,
He
a
also
baseball
just-
cap?
he- well, it's it,
Yeah, he
it's,
tries to in the second episode.
So I
he
guess
tries
you're
to
hiding
change
too, right?
all right. What is
Malarkey.
no?
Look.
Now good into your part of it. What is your part? What do you feel about this episode?
I
all
think
these
the
shows?
last 2 episodes were pretty good because it's a good setup. There's a lot to put to process because it's a whole new world. It's different from what we've seen. And naturally, the creators wanted to have the space and the time to do certain things. But characters that we've constantly said, if you want
What
to
is
utilize,
different about this world? This is a whole new world.
No,
What
but
is
I'm
different
saying-
about
what
this
I'm
world other than our world? What is different about this
What I'm
world?
saying is that you have. We've always constantly
I'm
talked about.
going to ask this question. Don't worry. I'm going to
Wait,
ask this
wait,
question
wait,
again.
wait,
I'm
wait,
going to ask
wait,
this
wait,
question
wait,
again.
wait.
We keep harping on the fact that there are many characters in these shows and that they could be using other than the main character and messing up those guys' timelines and
So-
stories. But I'm saying here you have Seg-El, where you have him going back into.
It's Krypton. It's transparent what they're trying to do over here, just as it's transparent what you're saying right over here. And I will ask my question again. What is different about this alien world from our world? What is different? Don't tell me they have flying things. We have flying things. What is different about this world?
It's the fact that in every world there's always issues going on. You have like the raw issue. That's
What's
going on,
different?
Not that much difference. Yeah, I agree. There's not that.
So we
but
don't
I-
need to do this
but-
show.
But yes, it's interesting, different point of view, a different look. I think it's good to watch out to see how history and Superman develop. I say everybody watch it. Why not?
If we want to see how Superman develops, we have a show called Superman, because Superman develops on Earth, not Krypton. I'm surprised you walked into that.
I know I did, didn't I?
What?
I'm really surprised you walked into that. That was pretty easy.
Yes.
We don't need to see this show to see how
Wait a
Superman
second.
develops.
We're not getting into. It's just a show. They do it for whatever reason they do.
Thank you.
But I think the Metropolis one sounds really far-fetched when they could do a simple story with elements that are in the comics.
You
and
open
saying
up
like
the,
they do.
I don't think
And
you want to
saying
open up that door right
No,
now.
that door is closed.
No.
That
No,
door's
we don't
really
have to get into Metropolis. I'm just saying. I'm not,
We can do it.
We don't have to get into it. I'm just saying.
I'm
they
ready to
could
rock.
do it.
We can do it.
The way they're doing it, I think, is kind of out there, because when we first saw, that's what they try to brand it when they're showing a lot of the Christopher Reeve Superman when they've done a period right around when they were releasing the first episode. So it's like when we saw like the Phantom Zone and stuff like that, we're like, wow, they gave us different visuals for it. They gave us this different look, this ice world, this all the stuff in the movie. And that's what I feel we're not getting from this. We're not getting something where we're seeing it and seeing cool. We're just seeing something that could be in, as you're saying, the Vampire Diaries. It could be in Magicians. It could be in any of those other places. So
Well,
I think if you give us what we saw in like Superman the movie, then just scale it back a little and like, wow, this is what we could get into.
But remember what he said about the ghost, the Phantom Zone, is that this is the area that they can look at more of the world. And it isn't until later, because it's dangerous.
There's nothing else to do. It's the Phantom Zone. It's done already.
It isn't later until, because they're still
Look,
developing the technology. The grandfather,
I'm
great-grandfather
gonna
developed
brass tax this for you, okay? Superheroes are still making money. Nobody thought the CW was gonna come over here and have a whole we're gonna draw in viewers for 4 nights every week, 5 nights every week. We didn't think we thought we were gonna run out of juice at this point. So Fox comes over and is like, hey, we want to do some stuff. Like, no, we're not giving you anything, okay? Who can you have? You can have these guys over here. So we can't do Batman. Let's do a show about Batman before he becomes Batman. Smallville already proved that we can suck some juice out of that one. Syfy is the same thing. Hey, we want to get in on this too. Who can we have? No, we can't give you anybody. Okay, can we get this guy over here? No, we're not giving you anyone. Okay, we're not even gonna give you Adam Strange, so you can do a show about Adam Strange on Rand, which would have been the right thing to do with the whole Zeta Beam, and that would have actually been interesting. We're not gonna give you anything. What are we gonna? You know what? You can have this.
Well,
you can have like a funky version of Krypton, and let's see you play with that. That's it. But these guys are gonna
and it
milk it.
looks good.
They're gonna milk it.
No, that's the part where we don't know that this is how these Hollywood things happen. It's like saying, I want to do Rand, I want to do Adam Strange, blah, blah, blah. And then you get into Hollywood, nobody knows Rand
knows
and Adam
Adam
Rand.
exactly.
But we know Krypton,
Yeah.
but you can keep Adam Rand, you can keep Adam Strange right in there. It's like, all right, whatever, we'll just do it.
Well,
And-
they're
So we want to do Superman. You guys, Sharknado, Sharknado. No. You guys can't have, but you can have this. Here you go.
They're saying-
You can have all of that.
They're moving away from
Come
Sharknado.
on.
They don't.
They're
Not everything.
They
looks
will
like
now.
Sharknado. No, I mean,
After those ratings, they're gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh, sorry,
Money's
Ian
there.
Zerling. Sorry, we gotta take this money.
Sharknado money is pretty big. Look, the fact of the matter is they're developing this world. They already said they're going to have the Hawkman and Hawkwoman.
Oh yeah,
They're going to have.
They have Hawkman now.
No, in the show, Krypton.
They've already had Hawkman on the show.
Did you see him in the show?
But
I didn't see him in the show.
Yeah, you didn't watch Legends of Tomorrow then?
No, I was talking about Krypton. What we've been talking.
Hawkman has already been on the show.
But they also
he's already established and developed.
Play the
No, in Krypton.
reincarnation
No,
thing.
what they're not talking about is Hawkman. They're talking about Thanagarians, okay? And then we'll see some Daxamites. And then maybe we'll see some Rannians, and maybe we'll see some of the other aliens bouncing around, and it'll mean absolutely nothing. Because they're going to still act like Earth people. It'll still be the same stuff that we would see on any soap opera. They'll just have wings, or they'll have green skins. We'll see a couple of green Martians, a white Martian or something, and it's going to be tantamount to nothing at the end of the day.
Okay.
Well, wait a second.
Nice try.
We can't have this sort of argument when these we can torch these shows.
And that's what you got to do. I mean, there's like
No,
desire to at least try to
We can
watch
torch
it.
these
It's
shows,
just a
but then-
torch.
Why? I sat down for an episode, and I'm being fair to this show. I'm being more than fair. If I really wanted to torch it, okay, these two guys would have got up and walked away a long time ago. They would be like, you're just being totally unreasonable. Every single point that I have made is a legitimate point. I don't have to be nice about it or easy on them about it, but
No,
everything I've said has been legitimate. Now, if you want me to torch them, you let me know, and I will take the gloves off.
There's some
okay?
torching in there.
And I will, I'll do
There is
I'll
some
do a
torching.
conflagration.
Kerosene and everything on the
there's
damn thing.
torching in there.
No, right now they just gotta I'm just blowing a match at them. They're
You're
just
not blowing a
uncomfortable.
match. That's
Uncomfortable right
What
now.
type
You
of
call a
match is that?
blowtorch and gasoline a match, and then I have these critiques to go along with it. Well,
Okay, so let's wrap it up. So, everyone, so far, the
Yeah,
episode, what do you
flamethrower.
think, Cal?
I'm not Cal.
What do you think, Petey? What do you think, Cal? What do you think, Petey? What do you think? Whatever one. Answer the damn question.
What we go through with these shows is the talent. That's the thing that might keep us sticking with it. Is saying, all right, I'm not necessarily interested in the league, but the part with the Kryptonian guard, that stuff was sort of interesting, and obviously the person that Seg was supposed to mate with, like her angle, and of course, I mean, I already.
You're talking about the one, the Zex. Zex's daughter?
Well,
Or are you talking about
yeah,
Zod's
both of those,
daughter?
both of those,
Zod.
those.
Zex's sexy daughter.
That's
Okay.
right.
I can't believe it though. It's too easy.
Yeah. What else are we watching it for? No, I'm just saying, but it looks interesting.
No, he's right. Look, the cast is attractive.
Cass is, yeah.
The production qualities are good. It's well lit. All right.
I just wish they would pull back on the branding.
The acting is reasonable. The acting is reasonable. It just
is
has absolutely nothing to do with Superman. They're just milking the name to try to make some money, and they're going to make their money.
And you know what? They should. Because Superman has not had enough light, as we've said many times in this show.
Oh, he's getting a whole bunch here. His
this
cape.
is-
Yeah, his cape.
Now he's getting light here in Krypton. He's going to be getting Metropolis.
See, this is the stuff behind the scenes. This is stuff behind the scenes. He actually gets, he actually gets something for it. 'Cause he's talking scat. He knows he's talking scat at the end of the day.
No,
So,
wait. Let's
listen.
not do that.
So, if that's all you got to say, no more positivity out of you, and no more negativity out of you.
I have no more negativity.
I got
heard
a
that's
bunch
my
more.
issue.
I got a bunch
Spin
more,
around.
but we're on the clock today.
Spinner Rack out.